What is the best spiritual practice? I want to answer this a little differently. I want you to ask, what is the best spiritual practice for you? Now, I would say the best spiritual practice for you is the practice that feels effortless. The practice that feels effortless is most likely going to be the best practice for you. The practice that you enjoy. You'll find that when things are effortless for you, there's always this joy, this enjoyment. And sometimes this practice may not even be recognized as a practice. It might not be seen as a spiritual practice. There's so many different things that you could be doing that others would not even consider a spiritual practice. When we think about spiritual practices, we might have these main ones that come up, maybe chanting or meditation or a yoga practice or any of these things that kind of come to mind. And they might not include the thing that really is so effortless for you, the thing that you really enjoy. Because whatever you're doing that makes this feeling of, wow, it's so effortless. I really enjoy this. I'm really peaceful. I'm feeling free. I just love this, whatever it is. Maybe it's an activity. I just love this activity. That's it. That's your thing. That's your thing, because you're at that point, you're not even doing it. If you really look closely at this experience, you realize that you're just simply being. If you look really closely at this experience that you enjoy, that you are saying is effortless, it's just simply this being. You're just simply being it. You're just being natural. And really all the spiritual practices are, you could say, trying to bring you back to your true nature, where you feel natural. So that's why I'm saying is whatever it is that you feel so natural doing, that's probably a good sign that that is the best practice for you. Now, it could just be at this point of your life, you could say, at this time. And you'll find that maybe it kind of shifts or changes to some other thing. But it could be something like maybe painting. Painting, what spiritual practice is? Painting. Exactly. So what I mean is, like, a lot of these practices aren't even recognized as a practice. But it could just be that you're just simply aware. You're aware, you're just mindful. You're just aware, you're just present. You're just aware of this effortless flow. You're empty. Yet at the same time, you're present. And this present moment is fulfilled. That's your true nature. That's that feeling. You're essentially tasting your true nature unknowingly. And it's like that activity, let's say it's the painting, it's like it becomes a portal. or it's an activity where essentially you merge with that activity, where who you think you are is completely gone. You just melt into it. You dissolve into it. And you can say what remains is your true nature, and that's what you're experiencing it. That's what you're experiencing. And this was happening for me in my life, and I always attributed it to that activity. Let's say it was the painting. It's the painting that's making me feel like that. No, it's just that activity is like a portal. It's like a door to your true nature. So in this example, simply that's the practice. You'll see that the more you paint, the more you could say you're abiding or resting in yourself. And that's why it feels so, people say these words like it's therapeutic, so relaxing, so soothing, it's so tranquil. Not just for the painting, it could be just your thing. So it's just becoming aware of what is this thing? Maybe it's sewing, knitting, cutting the grass, gardening, playing the piano, drawing, running, mountain climbing, whatever it is. But it's having that awareness of, what just feels, what is it that I feel really good, where it feels like all my worries are not there. There's no past, there's no future. There's just simply that present moment. And it's so complete and fulfilling and total, where it feels like nothing needs to be added and nothing needs to be taken away. That there's this happiness, this love, this peace, this freedom that is felt, that is experienced. That thing, I would say, is your best, is the best spiritual practice for you. Because the spiritual journey is unique to everyone. The spiritual journey is really an individual journey. It's an individual transformation on the relative level. It's an individual journey. And just like you could say people is, we're all unique and there's no one that's the same as the other. On the relative level, everything is a unique expression of the one. So each journey is unique. So trying to copy someone else's spiritual practice because they said it's the best or it's working for them doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. Doesn't mean it's the best for you. And what's a good sign of this is that something that feels like it takes a lot of effort, something that feels like you have to use so much discipline and really pull yourself to just do it, something feels like that you just absolutely hate this spiritual practice, despise it, that's probably not the one for you, right? It doesn't matter if it's working for someone else. When it's felt to be that unnatural, it's most likely not going to work for you. But there's usually something else. There's usually something else that you're actually already doing. A lot of people actually, you could say they're already doing some spiritual practice, but they haven't labeled it as a spiritual practice. It's like an incognito spiritual practice. Like I said, like it could be like gardening. It's a great spiritual practice. But it might not be one of those kind of known spiritual practices like chanting or meditation or yoga, hatha yoga, right? It might not be like that, but it's just what you just, like I said, someone's like, what's your favorite thing to do? Or what's your favorite hobby? If like money wasn't an issue, like what would you just find yourself doing all the time? If someone said you can quit your job tomorrow, what would you just be doing? So I was like, you know what? I just have a massive garden. I'd just be in the garden for hours every day. Someone's like, well, gardening, like, I mean, I like it, but like, why do you like it so much? And then it might even feel like you like don't even know what to say. Like, why do I like it so much? You're like, I don't know. But then these kind of thoughts kind of arise. You're like, where I don't know. I can just be myself. I can just simply be. And that's the answer. Because that's what all the spiritual practices basically take you to. Yourself. Where you can just simply be. Because enlightenment is just simply being yourself. It's just this feeling of effortless flow. That you just are natural. That you're just in harmony with everything. So you just look at your life, you're already probably doing some sort of spiritual practice that's like that. Where you're just in this effortless flow. That there's just this harmony. There's just this oneness. There's just this tranquility. And you're getting a taste of that happiness, that love, that peace, that freedom, that fullness, that completeness, that totality, that restfulness, that relaxation. Whatever that is, whatever activity it is that gets you, you can say how I'm speaking about it like this, that gives you that aroma, that fragrance, that taste of that. It comes like a complete package. Whatever that is, I'd say that is the best spiritual practice for you. And you'll find that if you simply can double down on that in some way, do more of that, then something starts happening within yourself. There's a very subtle transformation happening. And if this practice is just something that you've been just doing your entire life, like it's just something that you do every day, then it could very well sneak up on you where you're not even really that aware. And that's how it was for myself, is I wasn't doing any spiritual practice. I never saw anything as a spiritual practice. I wasn't interested in taking on any spiritual practice. I didn't even know what the word spirituality meant. But I could see now, it's like just, hours of doing something like that. Or just doing that every single day kind of thing. Where I could see it's like, okay, yeah, I guess that was my thing, but no one would call that a spiritual practice, right? But it's like, yeah, that's my thing. And it's like, there's nothing else that I would rather do but that. Now, why is that? It's because you're just simply being yourself. One of the things that we make, a little mistake that we do on the spiritual journey, is we compare. When you start comparing journeys, you're gonna get into problems, because, like I said, every journey is unique. So when you start kind of comparing, well, what's working for them, or what's working for so and so, what practice are they doing? And you kind of jump around from these different practices, hopping back and forth, trying just about everything, and trying to force something that just feels so unnatural. Like I said, is take that as a sign. You can just even use that word. What thing do I feel really natural doing? And you can kind of say, oh, this thing feels so unnatural. I've given it a shot, tried it for 7-10 days or a month. And it's just, you just feel like I just gotta I can't do this. I can't see myself doing this every single day. This feels like torture. It's kind of a sign that that's not the one for you. That's not the one for you. Because like I said, there's whatever that practice is, it should allow you to basically access what you really are, get a taste of what you really are. And what you really are is that happiness, that love, that peace, that freedom, that fullness, that completeness, that rest, that relaxation. That's you. So it's essentially, it's like I said, it's like a portal to yourself. So it's just another way to think of it. Instead of thinking, what's the best one out there? Which one am I going to pick? I tried that one. Tried that one. And you're just picking and choosing, hopping from different practice to different practice. Just kind of step back and just kind of ask yourself, like, what is it in my life right now? So like I said, it might be something that you're already doing. What is it that I'm just really feeling so natural? What is it that just allows me to just simply be myself? Because being yourself, it's being free. What allows me to just feel free? Right? And then just kind of hone in on that. And then see what happens if you just kind of add some more time to it. See if that starts kind of changing. And another thing I want to say is it might be, depending on your age, it might be something that you have lost touch with. It might be something that you did as a kid. Let's say just drawing. Let's say you were drawing as a kid, and then there got a time where you had to then start becoming an adult and get all serious and living like an adult, right? And you kind of put that down. But there might be something there where you go, yeah, I just felt like so carefree and so just in the zone or just flowing. And you're like, it's like there's no worries when I was just, drawing, right? And what you'll find is if you kind of look back on your life and kind of look at what is that activity that you really loved doing, can you pick it up again? Can you try it and pick it up again? Because a lot of times, like I'm saying, is that activity is really, it's like the portal to yourself, where you feel like it's a connection to yourself. That activity allows you to connect to yourself. And that's why you're feeling so good, right? But it's not the activity that's making you feel good. It's actually you getting a taste of your true nature. It's allowing you to connect with yourself, right? So it's like the activity just becomes the facilitator of that connection, you could say. And what you'll find is if you kind of, start picking up the pencil or whatever it is, you start drawing or sketching or coloring or whatever it is in this example, that you'll start feeling like, it's like bringing back that kind of feeling, of, like, why did I ever stop this lightness, it's like you just let a load off, right? A lot of the burden of life just drops when you're just drawing. And you'll feel like you're like, I missed doing this. But really what it is you've missed yourself. And you start kind of falling in love with yourself. You start having a deeper connection to yourself. And like I said, that is just the facilitator of that connection. Right? So it's one of those things. Like I said, you could already be doing this spiritual practice. Look for something in your life that you just love doing, that makes you feel natural, and all those other things that I said, those other kind of qualities. Or if that feels like it's totally missing in your life, you don't have anything and everything in life just feels very stale, dull, missing that kind of thing that you kind of look forward to doing, I don't know. Think back. What is it something that you love doing that you kind of put down because life just got busy? And see if you can pick that up. See if you can just add that in, even if it's just a little bit. Even if it's just trying it once. It's something that like, it's like if you just touch it, it's like, and it's like an instant connection. And there'll be this knowing, it's like, I gotta draw. Like I gotta draw. And it's like, you might not need to be serious in it. It's not to say you gotta make this a new profession. It's just like, how can I integrate this into my current life? No different than you would integrate a spiritual practice into your current life, right? So it's just, maybe it starts off with just 1 hour on a Sunday afternoon or something like that, right? And then then it starts to become a little bit more, a couple times a week, right? And because you start seeing just how much it transforms your life, because it's really you connecting with yourself that actually transforms your life. See you in the next one.